Jean-Michel was a talented boy from Brooklyn whose mother was Puerto Rican and father was Haitian. He was only 4 when he started drawing, eager to show the world what a great artist he would be. For Jean-Michel, a perfect Saturday was going to Manhattan with his mother to visit its wonderful museums back home. He spent all afternoon drawing cartoons on scrap paper while listening to music with his father. Do you like painting? One day when he was 7, Jean-Michel was hit by a car while playing in the street. He had to rest in bed for a week. To help pass the time, his mother gave him the most useful present he could have received, an anatomy book. Skulls, teeth, guts, skin, skeletons. The book was simply fascinating. Going through its pages, Jean-Michel realized how powerful and fragile the human body is. He decided to use all he had learned in his paintings. Things turned upside down when his mother got ill. Jean-Michel dropped out of school and ran away from home. Luckily, he found a place in city at school as in conventional setting where he met other artists like him. Fragile, something easy to break. Fascinating means something that is interesting. Not long afterward, the city of New York woke up with messages spray painted on buildings all over Manhattan. They were signed as the name of Jean-Michel and his friend ADDS had made up Samo. Would he like to spray paint the walls? Unconventional. Something you finish and believe. It was the beginning of the graffiti era, and Jean-Michel was at the center of it. In the blink of an eye, he went from selling t-shirts and homemade postcards to becoming the star of the art scene. Locked up in his studio, Jean-Michel spent hours on the floor mixing pencil, oil sticks, and crowns with cut-up quotes he found in comments and history books. The result was a beautiful mess of painting that people fell in love with. It was the beginning of a great friendship. Jean-Michel and Andy spent lots of time together working, painting, and going to parties. They were the brand new painter and pop art legends, the craziest pair on the scene. In less than 10 years, Jean-Michel made thousands of paintings and drawings, but he was also a poet, a musician, and graffiti prodigy who influenced the work of many artists that came after him. There was someone he wanted to meet. It was the famous Andy Warhol. One of his idols. After their first lunch, Jean-Michel went home and within 2 hours he sent Andy a wet painting of the two of them. Jean-Michel believed that everyone deserves a place in art. Instead of painting kings and queens like many other artists, he turned his paintbrush to waiters, cooks, prisoners, and himself. And by painting life in his own unique way, Jean-Michel became one of the most important artists in the 20th century. The talented child who once told his father, "Papa, I'm going to be famous," a young endowed with exceptional qualities and abilities.